Hello, welcome to JK News. Today we are talking about how guys get with girls.
That's right, because if you missed this episode, we did another one on catcalling and inappropriate ways of picking up. But now we want to talk about
Charisma Corner.
Charisma Corner!
The actual way to pick.
How do you pick a girl up? Okay, so recently I've been seeing this thing about how, like, even asking a girl for a date can come off as aggressive male behavior.
Oh, really?
Depends.
Unwanted.
You mean like the actual phrase?
Yeah, do it.
Well, I read this thing where a girl was asking like, hey, is it fucked up that I told a guy to never talk to me again? He asked me out on a date. And then other women were chiming in and they're like, yeah, that's an unwanted sexual advance. That's sexually
Are you
harassment.
talking about a stranger or like a friend?
But it makes, I think now the climate makes guys even more afraid to just approach women and just court them like regular.
You know what it is? It's like he should have said, hey, I'll show you an unwanted sexual advance. That's true. See, I think that was
very fucked up.
Yeah, because they don't know what it is.
I think context is really important.
Yeah, I mean, you're right.
Because there's been times where a guy has asked me on a date and like a stranger, like they saw me and they're like, hey, I think you're really cute. Would you want to go out sometime? Totally innocent. And I'm like, oh no, I'm sorry, I actually have a boyfriend. And then they start to get hostile.
Were they like,
no, I don't.
What's your boyfriend got that I don't got?
Well, no, they go like, what? I'm just asking to hang as friends. Like he could come. Bring your man.
Why
Bring
you
your
being a
man.
bitch?
And I'm
Why
like,
you being a bitch?
I don't want to give you my number. And they're like, why? Oh, you're lost, you know? You're lost then, you know? Like what? And I'm like, oh my god. Like so, there's times where girls even just getting it kind of brings back some PTSD of like
You know
hostile
what that
guys.
is? That's an insecure guy who just mustered all the strength he has in his entire body to ask you out, and then you crushed his entire castle, and now he's got.
He doesn't know what to do.
But imagine if you called his bluff though. You're like, oh yeah, you just want to hang out? Yeah, I'll bring my boyfriend. It'll be a great time. The three of us can all hang out, watch the game.
And then he loads his fucking gun.
Right.
This actually happened in Beverly Hills recently when I was going to get my hair cut. A guy dressed, he was like a guard or something, like he was like in a uniform. And he's like, let me help you cross the street. And he like crossed the street with me and I was like, thank you. And then he's like, yeah, so can I get your number? And I was like, oh, I'm married. And he was like, so I just want to hang. You know what, your husband has a problem with just hanging? And I was like, I don't want to be your friend.
I have an ex-girlfriend who was propositioned to hang by Anton Yelkin, who's now deceased.
Wait, who's that?
Who's that?
He was in the.
I was like, oh God, Antoine died?
He was in a bunch of shit. Oh no, Jesus. No, he was in a ton of shit. You'd recognize him if I showed you his picture.
Is he an actor?
He's an actor, and he was in. Him and McLovin were trying to hang with her, right?
Oh.
Because she had done this interview thing with them.
Oh, is he the guy where the SUV backed up?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
He was in Star Trek. He played Chekhov in the new Star Trek movies, right? And so she was hitting me up, and she's like, "Hey, they all want to hang," and I told them I have a boyfriend, and like you should come hang with us. And I'm like, they don't want to hang with me,
So she was oblivious.
and they don't want to hang with you. She had no idea. Yeah, because
That happens a lot too.
it's a young age, right? So you don't know what's going on with all this shit, or how this stuff works, or what guys are trying to go for. It's fascinating.
Yeah, and so then a nice, a sane guy comes up and asks you on a date, and you're already on guard because you're like,
That's what's difficult is because guys have to shoot their shot and learn, and through trial and error, that's when they find security and all that. Like they don't. It's unfortunate that guys have to practice by doing because they're all gonna come off hella insecure at first, and some people react.
yeah,
in
just
weird,
don't take it
toxic
personally.
ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then so like. I think that's where it's all kind of fucked up is because in order for guys to become men and learn, they have to go through the trial and error.
But they also can't treat it like they're selling cell phones at the mall. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the fucked up part.
Yeah.
Where it's like, yo, hey, you looking for a phone? Okay, all right.
Or like they're on Hollywood Boulevard. They're at Hollywood Boulevard and they're trying to sell their album. You like hip hop? You like hip hop? You like hip hop? You like hip hop?
Put headphones on you and be like, sir.
They're like, do you like it? You want to buy it? $5? Or just on the side of the street, please, some spare coochie.
Just sample it first. Sample it.
Yeah, just listen to it.
Not that method, but also I feel like you shouldn't be like hella thirsty or like treat someone like on a pedestal.
Yeah.
On a pedestal. It's like you've been like a long time fan and you've just been watching them like for like I don't know how many years
Obsessive,
or whatever.
thirsty.
Yeah, obsessive, and they just see you up here and they're like, oh, what can I get you? I'm like, well, dude, chill, please. You know, it's like, oh, I really like you. You know, like you want to go on a date with me? I'm like, I was like, please, you're kind of making me feel really uncomfortable because...
It's like, dude, why are you being so weird? I just want to suck your feet.
Dude, yeah, come on, bitch.
I don't like that because it's just like when people treat
Girl,
me like
you
that.
wouldn't know the nasty shit I would do for you. I treat you like a princess.
Clean them toes with my tongue.
No, please no.
Ungrateful.
The only reason why I don't like that is just because I feel like
I'll lick
they
the
don't
lip
know
in your
me
baby.
as a person.
Right.
No,
They're putting
they don't.
this image of you.
Because
You're a
they're-
sex object.
Yeah.
Like,
So
And
nice
like
if they wanna
honestly, Julia, you look like you have beautiful feet.
Dude, you know what? No. I'm gonna say this straight up. My toes are fucking nasty because of cross country and track and field. I'm pretty sure. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if I ever got athlete's foot, but I had several toenails.
Oh my God, Julia!
Putting it out there, man, destroying all your fucking dreams. I'm fucking cute right here, but my feet ain't cute. Just
Why are you killing all those boners? Innocent boners.
One boner just
Jesus
went up
Christ.
right there. You don't know.
you got feet fungus?
I was about
There
to
you
start
go.
monetizing OnlyFans.com/Julia Chow feet.
Julia Chow
We've
feet.
been profitable. Thanks a lot. You ruined Bose's business idea.
Dude, would have been.
There is a whole, like, I guess a remedy that guys are trying to do. There's a pickup community. Like, some of my buddies actually, Simple Pickup, they were doing this in college where they would just like talk to girls in different ways, like only using rap lines, or they made it fun. And but then there's also a toxic side of that world too, where it's all about just slaying as many women as possible. And I think there's a lot of incels that get into it because they get so sexually frustrated, and then they're like, it's kind of like a weird violent sexual thing toward women. Yeah, but I have a friend who's actually entered that world because it was more like he was tired of being shy and tired of having nervous energy around women. And then once he's entered it, he told me this whole thing about how that there's a huge like different, I guess, group within the groups. You know, there's ones that are like, oh, I just want to learn how to have good energy around women and be emotionally intelligent so I can be a better man for my girlfriend.
It sounds like they're overthinking it though, man.
So yeah, this,
This is where it gets creepy.
Because you don't know the world, so I think I had the same type of stigma about all of them being these like completely weird fuckers. But I realized that some of them need to think deeply about a lot of things because they have no fucking clue.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is I've met these people, I know who you're talking about, and I think that it comes off like they're overthinking it while they're in the moment.
I
You know what
also
I'm saying?
think one of the problems is generalizing women. Like, women like it when you do this. Every woman's fucking completely different.
Yes.
So like, one move isn't gonna work on all women.
No, because you're thinking about pickup lines, right?
Pickup lines, or like if you do this strategies.
So the idea of strategizing that.
And that's one school of thought, but it's almost like
Because I just like when people treat me like a person. Like we
Right,
have a
and that's what it's all
conversation,
about.
we
I
talk
think-
about interests.
eventually it's about emotional intelligence.
Yeah, it's not a board game, you know.
It's not a board game, right?
What brings out all of the resentment in those incels, though? You know, 'cause
Well,
you
but
look at
it-
them as like this other species, and they're like,
Yeah.
why don't all of them want me? Like, what's going on?
But
What is this?
that's the problem. It's that they are using a strategy to draw external validation for themselves. And when that strategy fails, to them it feels like they've failed. And that's why they take it so personally. That's why they get
Why
so
can't I get my validation?
Because you've attacked me.
Yes.
You've attacked me and my strategy that I came up with that was supposed to work.
It's supposed to work on all chicks.
Exactly, and it ends there. But you know, and honestly, the remedy for that, and this is a remedy for 1,000 times, is 1,000 things, is finding validation internally rather than externally, because it's absolutely unshakable then.
Yeah, it all comes back down to self-love. But I think like the heady part where I think you're explaining is the whole strategy and logic aspect of it, instead of just having genuine connections with human beings, right?
Yeah.
So you're manipulating the situation, making them think that you're connecting, but you're really, you have this motive of just numbers, fucking a lot of girls, having a lot, whatever, right?
Or even just fucking one, right? But you are coming at it at an angle.
It's very fake. Yeah. So there's different schools of thought within that community. There's one that's more emotionally intelligent, is I'm just trying to connect with human
Yeah,
beings.
that's great.
And develop myself through this mean, right?
Yeah.
And then there's another who's, I think, is like more on the psychopathic side, where for them, they have an addiction of finding validation with women and just having as many as possible, and that becomes like their badge of honor. I fucked 1,000 women, this and that, like, you know, and it's pretty weird.
It's weird.
Yeah.
I actually, so a really good friend of mine that I went to high school with, he was exactly like that, and it fucked him up so much to the point that when he finally settled down with a girl, he would only date a virgin. because he genuinely believed like all women were whores.
So he was projecting his own whoreness.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and also this guy had mommy issues. I don't know like I don't know the details of it, but I know he always jokes, "Oh, mommy issues, mommy issues." Issues with women, because that's the first woman that you know. But it was interesting to me that when he settled down, he had to date a virgin because he was like, she's just out there fucking anyone, everything, you know. And
He thinks virgins won't cheat?
and he seemed like such a normal, cool guy though. Like he was very popular in high school, very attractive, and like it just, I don't know, it blows my mind. But all the time he still thinks like she's doing some shit behind his back. And it's the mommy issues. You know, daddy issues, we just be like, you know, let me call him Poppy or something. But mommy issues, they'll be like, I want to kill this woman.
I think I never developed mommy issues because I don't respect my mother.
It's a good solution.
No respect, no issue.
Yeah, it's really helpful.
I do believe
People are gonna believe that you actually have the best relationship with your mother ever.
Oh, I just figured she was completely gone.
Oh no, she's amazing.
No.
what makes it funnier though is like when you love your mom and you call her a bitch.
Yeah.
right.
Because it's the contrast.
That's
It's
why I
not
had to
even
give
close.
people the context so they're in on the joke.
It's not even close to being true. It's like the other night at Danger Boys, somebody came up to me and they're like, tell me a joke, and I was like, Bart's face. Because that's so absurd.
Yeah.
Like, Bart is a beautiful man.
Right. I used to call that fool fat as fuck.
Yeah, right. It's like,
Yeah.
that's the kind of, people don't get that though. They might be like,
that's-
yeah, and then he's like, Bart's ugly.
Oh my god. And you're like, dude, I was kidding. He was like, I was kidding too.
Some people are literal. Some people are literal. You never
A
know.
lot of people seem to be very literal
Yeah.
these days.
And I think it just goes back to being socially and emotionally intelligent because that is really the cue of everything. Or that's the secret of
And
everything.
confidence.
Yeah. When you love yourself and then you have confidence.
And not
That's what's
overconfidence.
sexy.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
a turn on to most people is somebody with confidence. Whether you're a guy or a girl, if you're confident, it's fucking sexy.
It's not overconfidence.
Yeah.
You know what though too? I don't know who kind of brought this up, but when that strategy, you know what they don't tell you in those sales things on how to pick up girls? They don't say, by the way, if you come off too fake, she's not gonna fucking like it. They just give you a bulleted list of
Yeah.
here's what you do, but they don't tell you that part. And then when it doesn't work out, they're like, it's me. I'm a piece of shit. I must kill
or
it.
all women don't like me. They have it out for me.
Yeah.
It's like,
calm down. You are not that special.
They're like, I know.
you're like, oh, what? Another woman's telling me this.
Oh no, it's happening again.
God.